At ease, brothers. Man, let's have one of those Friday type conversations, man. Let's have one of those conversations, man, where we can go into the weekend, man, and we can understand what needs to be done. We can understand that we have to shift our minds to a higher degree. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand this. One thing that I can say about the weekend, like the person you are right now and the person you'll be at Monday morning when that alarm goes off, they won't be the same person. They won't be the same person. You're either going to have moved yourself forward, or you're going to be 40 acres and a mule behind everybody else, man. But I believe that when a person comes off the weekend, they will not be the same, bro. So I just want to talk about moving forward. To be honest, I don't know what I want to talk about, to be honest, man. But I do know this. You know what it takes to move forward, man. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we'll have conversations about the sleepwalkers and the wanderers and the ones that are lost in the sauce and the ones that have no idea what's going on. The ones that have no idea that they're made in the image. That have no idea that the world is responding to them. You know this. So if you know this, you know exactly what needs to be done, man. But the thing is, brothers, at some point, you're going to have to come out of your shell, man. That's what it's going to come down. At some point, we can talk about all the bells and whistles and the laws of attraction and becoming all these things. At some point, you got to come out of your shell, brother. At some point, you got to say, okay, you know what? I've generated this light. Let me come from up under this rock and show the world who I am. Let me come from up under this rock and give to my brothers and sisters so that their life can be better in whatever shape, form, or fashion that is. Because the idea is there. But you got to come out of your shell, man. You know, and I can understand, man, a lot of us may have been shy. A lot of us may have had low confidence at times in our life. But sometimes that's not going to be an excuse. Like you heard me say a couple of videos ago, I said when I was in college, man, I quit speech class because they told me to speak for 2 minutes. I was out. But at some point I said, man, if I'm going to change my life, if I'm going to put work in, I can't lean on that old version of myself. So, man, you got to come out of your shell, that thing that's holding you back. You have to come out of that shell, man. And to come out of that shell, brother, it's simply a matter of you. It's simply a matter, and I hate to use this word, it's simply a matter of you having courage. It's simply a matter of you having courage enough to do it, man. And this is the thing, because I love the quote. Usually when I say the word courage, I'm referring to Charles Hannell when he said, you got to have the courage to dare. I believe most of us have the courage to dare. Most of us, brothers. We have the courage to say, you know what, this is my current situation. And if I call these plays, if I make these moves, then I can find myself in this world that's in my mind. I can find myself on this level of success that I've deemed possible. I can find myself in whatever it is that's going on. But a lot of us don't have. I mean, a lot of us. It ain't the courage to dare. It's the courage to be seen. It's the courage to be seen, man. And the reason I want to talk about this, man, is because you have to understand. The world is changing, brothers. It's changing. And when I say call plays, because I say that all the time, you're going to have to do something different than what you're doing now. It may not be, hey, I'm trying to become an entrepreneur and leave my job. It may not be, hey, I'm trying to leave the country. It may not be certain things that certain people talk about. But you got to make some kind of move, because the way you move right now is not going to be working in 3 to 5 years. In 3 to 5 years, it's not going to be working. You're going to be a complete sleepwalker in 5 more minutes, man. You know what I'm saying? I was watching this lady on, I think it was on TikTok. It was on one of the social medias, right? And she's a real estate investor. And she was talking about how she used to sell, I think she said 100 houses a month. I know she said that. I thought it sounded kind of weird, but maybe that's and y'all are in real estate, y'all know if that's a real thing or not. She said, I used to sell 100 houses a month, right? She said, now in this economy, I'm down to selling 11 houses a month. But that's what she was talking about. She said, back when she was selling 100 houses a month, she said out of these 100 houses, one of those people that were selling houses were moving overseas. Now she says, I think she said just over 50% or right at 50% of people that are selling homes in America are going abroad. That's a night and day shift, bro. That's a night and day shift. So when I say the world is changing, and I'm not saying everybody needs to leave the country, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you're calling plays, if you're thinking like you would think, I'll say it like this: if you're thinking in 3 to 5 years like you're thinking right now, brother, you're gonna be left behind. Two or three buses will be gone by then. You know what I'm saying? So get back to what I was saying. It's not that a lot of people don't have the courage to dare. They have the courage to be seen. They don't have the courage to be seen, which means they don't have the courage to think outside of the box. They don't even have they're not even scared to call the plays. They're scared for somebody outside of themselves to see them fail. Let me say that again, man, because you gotta understand, most people aren't afraid to fail. If a person is inside their own little world, they'll sit there and try a million times and fail a million times. But as soon as you put one set of eyeballs on them, they're afraid to fail, man. They're afraid to fail. So you gotta overcome, or you gotta gain the courage to be seen. You gotta gain the courage, man, to try whatever that thing is in your mind in the eyes of others. Kinda, right? And the reason I say kinda is because y'all always hear me talk about this bubble. Like that's the way around it for me. You always hear me talk about, hey man, you gotta put a bubble around yourself. Because once you put that bubble around yourself, man, it's weird because once you lock in and you create your own world, it's like you no longer see the bystanders. You no longer hear the naysayers. You know, it's kind of like I think it'd be like in New York. It'd be like in big cities, man. Y'all seen that thing where they have those bathrooms, and the bathroom might be on the main strip in New York. You know, 100,000 people walking past this thing a day, and it's a little building and it's a bathroom. And when you're walking by it, it looks like just a mirror building. But when you walk inside of it to use the bathroom, you look around and it's 360 degrees around where you can see everybody walking right next to you, man. And people are going in there and using the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that type mentality when I say build that world around yourself. Where you're like, you know what? I understand that world around me exists, but they're irrelevant to what I'm doing right now because they can't see me right now. I'm moving in such a different frequency, they can't even see me right now. You know what I'm saying? And when you're in that bubble, man, I'm gonna tell you this: when you're in that bubble and you're locked in and it's just you, and you're not focused on what people can see and what people are saying, but you gotta double and triple down on that thing you know you're supposed to be doing, man. Just turn that bubble into your lab. Yeah, you're in there trying different things. You're moving a certain way, man. It's your lab. Everything outside of that is irrelevant. You have to get to that point, bro. You have to get to the point where everything outside of you. Let me give a quick shout out real quick while I just crossed my mind. When I come here and make these videos, I go to a few different spots to edit videos. And there's this one spot where there's this young lady, man. She's becoming like a niece to me. Her name is Diamond. Nickname is Diamond. I can't remember how to say her full name. But man, when you talk about locked in, and it made me think about it because of what I'm talking about now. I think Diamond is like 19, 20 years old. So she just came out of high school, man. She's going to college, summer school, working 40,000 jobs, has her game plan. She's going to University of Houston. Already has the game plan when she comes out of that, what she's going to do like she's locked in. To be honest, man, I haven't seen anybody that locked in a long time. She's sitting there saying, hey, no distractions, no this. That's how we gotta be, man. We have to be locked. We have to get in that lab and lock in, man, and create that recipe. and create that recipe. And again, man, it's not that we don't know what to do. It's not that we don't really know how to do it. It's just a matter of us implementing it in the face of others. When you're in your room by yourself, man, you can think of a master plan. But when you open the door to that front door to your house, you freeze up. When you cut that camera on, you freeze up. When you cut your computer on, try to build that app, try to build that AI, you freeze up. Because now you're subject to the opinions of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You got to get past that, bro. Because your greatness, whatever greatness is to you, your greatness is on the other side of it, man. You know what I'm saying, man? It's like, and trust me, I'm talking to soul too. I'm talking to soul too. I'm talking to soul first. Because as I go into this weekend, I know exactly what needs to take place before I come out of this weekend. There are some places in my life, man. There's some things that I put in place where I've been saying to myself, man, like there's just not enough time for me to do this and do this and do this. All the things I created. But I gotta sit down and say, you know what? I gotta make time. I gotta figure it out and make it work. So when I come out of this weekend, I already know things will be completely different than they are now. But like I said to y'all, man, I believe every Friday and every Monday, man, a person is never the same. Because you're either going to back up or you're going to move forward, man. But again, you got to come out of that shell. You got to go in that lab and you got to create. You got to create that thing. You got to master that gift you want to give back to the world, right? And once you do that, man, then you have to let people in. This is the hard part. You have to let people in. And when I say let people inside of your world. Let people inside of your mind. Let people inside of your craft. You know how many people, I won't say a lot. I know some people, man, that are pure artists. And probably if you go to their homes, man, they probably got stuff all on the walls. They probably got drafts of stuff in all kind of notebooks, but they don't want anybody else to see that. They don't want to let anybody else inside and experience their craft. Yeah, that they might can cut hair or do nails or put roofs on houses or whatever. But a lot of people don't want people in, man, because again, it's being criticized. But if you're gonna move in your highest form, you gotta be able to let people in, man. Again, I'm talking to us brothers. I'm not talking to everybody. It's not that we don't know what to do and how to do it. It's what comes after that, man. You know what I'm saying? So this weekend, brothers, focus on that. Focus on that thing that's going to make you different come Monday morning. You know, focus on that craft where you say to yourself, hey, you know what? It's just a matter of me sitting down for one night and putting down somewhat of a business plan. Or for myself, it's just a matter of me sitting down, look at what all I need to do and fit it in my schedule. Carve out the junk from my schedule. That way, come Monday morning, I'm somebody else. Yeah, I've been saying, you know, if a person saying, yeah, I've been saying I want to get a new job. Yeah, I've been saying I want to get a 25% raise. I want to do all these things. Let me sit down this weekend and formulate a plan and come out and be that person next week. That's how life is, man. Wash, rinse, and repeat. That's how life is, man. So again, man, I know it's Friday, man. Y'all don't want no long video. So, man, put that thing together this weekend, man. And just understand that you know exactly what it takes. It's just a matter of us doing it, man.